but I'm
cool
sure
with it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Hunger for the Hustle podcast. I am joined live today by Joanna Kleier, who is in California. That's right, you're in California, aren't you, Joanna?
Yes, I am. Sunny Southern California. It's 8:30 at night, so it's dark.
Oh, yeah. It's going up to 20 to 2 in the afternoon here in the future in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
Now, me and Joanna have we've been involved in the same courses for a while now. That's right, isn't it, Joanna? We did the Power Voice course, and we were both lucky enough to speak at the summit last Saturday. Wow, that was a week ago now. I don't know about you, but I'm still buzzing from it.
Right. I'm advancing really fast after that.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. I am as well, actually. I've had quite a few opportunities come up, and I'm seizing every one I can.
Yes, I'm trying to get on as many podcasts as I can just to get myself out there. And, John Tallarico says the universe is speed, So
yeah, absolutely.
It's just waiting for us to hop on.
And here you are on another podcast.
I know, isn't it awesome? Congratulations, Jake.
Congratulations to you too for the huge moves you've made in your life recently.
Thank you.
It's interesting. It's been a bit of a theme that a lot of the people I've had on are people from the courses we've been on, and many of them are into the future. I've got some next week that are people who have spoke at the Power Voice Summit, and it's a collaborative, team-driven effort of people, isn't there? And when you surround yourself with people that want the same things as you and that are going after the same things or just have the same mindset, you can achieve great things a lot quicker, I think.
Right. It also seems like, if other people are doing it, then it gets us excited to do the same thing. And we are all made from the same cloth. We want to make a difference in the world and help people with our own story. And lessons made that possible.
Yes, possible. One of our favorite words. Now, Joanna, of course, we're here to talk about the hustle and the hunger for it. And we're going to talk about your hunger for the hustle. And that is the fact that you've recently started your coaching business, which I hear is going very well, and you've already got some clients.
Yeah, I have. I've had 2 starting last year, and then I just got one. We're going to talk tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, wonderful. I have a lot of experience underneath my belt, so I can help a lot of people.
Well, that goes a long way, right? And so what was the moment when you decided that you wanted to go into coaching?
Well, I had
helping others.
Yeah, about 24 years ago, I started helping my best friend go through a separation divorce with children, and it was a very tough time for her. And then I helped like a few more after that, and I'm still friends with them today. It's about 3 or 4 women. So when I took my life coaching class last year, I decided that my niche was going to be helping women go through separation, divorce with children. 2 years ago, when I told my friend that I met camping, she said, I was telling her I was going through the course, and she's like, yeah, when you graduate, let me know. I want to be one of your first clients. And sure enough, last year I called her up, made an appointment, and we met at the park, and I brought her coffee and breakfast, and we just walked around the park. So it was a lot of fun. I left really, really excited and elated.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great to get clients before you've even started the business.
Right. And I've helped 4 or 5 women. Usually, most of them have left situations where they've protected their children from bad situations. And, some of them were not as bad as others, but I was very proud of the women. They were very courageous, and they decided to protect their children. They decided to have a better life and not stay in a bad situation and make the best of it. So I pay homage to them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I do too. I pay homage to those ladies particularly, but a wider spectrum than that. Anyone that removes themselves out of a situation and circumstance they don't like, and they create their own circumstances. That's for me. Someone asked me today. Actually, I was just a plumbing job. Hopefully, one of my last ones this afternoon, and we were talking about hustle with the customer I was working for, and he said, "What do you think hustle is? How would you define it?" And I define hustle to be not seeing the circumstances you desire and therefore creating them.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. I think one of the things that I've battled actually is fear of the unknown, fear of what I can be and what I can accomplish. And I've realized over time in helping the other women empower them, it actually helps at the same time to empower me. My mother actually did live in a domestic violence situation, and so I'm kind of used to people hurting people, unfortunately, and actually staying in it and making the best of a bad situation. And so, I had that happen at home, and then in 2013, I was at my new store location, and I was a threat to another coworker who had the same position as I am, and she kicked me to the side, and it was really, really tough. I actually told the supervisor, and he did nothing for me. He let her kick me down. I was at the same level as she was, and then she just kicked me down. It attacked my self-esteem greatly. And it was very tough, but I made the best of it. And actually what had happened is it helped me understand what happened and why I ended up from victim to champion. And being in that situation, it was hard, but the hard things, as I said in my speech, it's like sandpaper, and then there's gifts wrapped inside of that. And when you're going through a hard time, a lot of people don't realize that you can get something good from that. You learn something from that, and it could help you in your future and help you want to help people more. And it's really helped me understand that I don't have to stay in situations like that I can remove myself. And I want to teach other people that are having struggles like that to get out, just get out, because it doesn't do the other person any good, you allowing that behavior to happen to you. You're just an innocent person, and you're just blindsided by it, and you have no idea what's going on until you're removed from it. So I was removed for about 2 years ago, and wow, just to get myself out of the way from keeping on taking it, and push forward to today. It was a gift wrapped in sandpaper, so I can really go out there and make a difference. I'm so excited, really.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and I see it in your spirit, and I see it from all the things that I see you doing and are making happen. Like you said, and like John Tallarico says, the universe loves speed, and it certainly does, and that's why we're here with the 6th episode of this podcast in almost as many days. So you said you did. I'm interested to know how you kind of how did you actually start the life coaching business? You did the course, you did the life coaching course. Your friend said that he already wanted to be your first client, so you already had your first client lined up. And then how did you kind of get your next clients from there?
I work for the grocery industry, so I am in customer service, and I run into people all the time. And I just recently fell upon The Secret from Netflix, and I kind of watched it. I don't know how I landed on it, but going through the life coaching and I started listening to books. My mother suggested the Boundaries book by Henry Cloud and Townsend. Yep. And later in her life with my dad, they actually got help. My dad quit drinking, and he got better. And so that was amazing to see. I lived at home till I was 25. And so I was able to see the changes. Not everybody gets to see that. And I'm very grateful for that, because they got help in the end. I think it's really allowed me to get help for myself that it helped me understand later. Yeah. You don't have to stay in bad situations. You can actually remove yourself. And that's the point I want to make to people. You can remove yourself. You don't have to take it anymore. And I actually had helped right after I had that situation, and I was knocked down. As a matter of fact, someone was replaced. I was gone out of work for 5 months. I had a breakdown after everything's all said and done. Yeah. And I came back, and there was the same thing happening to somebody else. So I was able to help this next person. Mm-hmm. And, I got her helped get her out of her situation, get promoted, and have her own store. Right. And you can either let it keep you down, or you can take it, learn from it, and help somebody else with it. And I've listened to so many successful people now that taught me that very thing. You learn it, you master it, you're successful, and then you teach it. And being part of the Power Voice system has really helped me. And also with my customers, and my second client came from just telling her that I became a life coach, and just opening it up, the energy that I gave off to her. She, she didn't have children. She didn't, wasn't divorced, but she's like, can you do me a favor and help me with trauma? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had gone through so much trauma.
You've been there, right? Yeah.
But you know what? We don't have to take it. We just don't. And I love people. I'm a people person. I love peace, hope, and I want everybody to excel. I want everybody to rise above any kind of tribulation or trial, and to know it's not the end. It's not the end for you. There's hope for you. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah. Together we rise, right?
Right. Yes, we do. It's a collective. I was taught where two or more are gathered, the source, God, universe will be there. We'll be there to hear you here in a group. And I just love Les's story because he was subjected to a lot of adversity as well. He was mistreated as well. I've heard a lot of his stories. His mother adopted him, one of 7 children, and I give her 100% love, and just, it's just amazing to hear that story. Born on the floor of an abandoned building. My mom, actually, I was born in Burbank, California. I'm child number 5, pregnancy number 8, and I was a surprise, but not a mistake, my mom said, and I was born on the floor as well.
Quite literally a surprise.
Yeah, she told me I was born on the floor because back then they did midwives. Because I'm almost 50, so my mom had so many children. She's like, I'm just gonna stay home and do a midwife. Nothing's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, I've had a few kids. I'm pretty qualified. That's all you need, right? And what's been the biggest challenge of your business so far?
Well, I wasn't really going in faith. I was actually going in fear when I first did it. I went to go make I'll give you an example. I went to go make my business cards, and it took me like 2 weeks to even pass them out because I was afraid that I didn't know fear of the unknown. I didn't know I was going to be successful. I had self-doubt, and I had, at the time I was afraid, very, very scared. But because I'd been doing a lot of recovery work, I decided I was going to push through each fear that popped up. I was going to face them dead on. Yeah. I had taken too many hits. Yeah. It was either face them head on or give up. And I would find myself sliding back into the breakdown mode. And I said, you know what, forget it. I ain't doing that ever again. So I didn't. I was like, this ain't gonna happen no more. So, one thing my parents taught me was stick-to-itiveness, follow through to the end, and never give up, even through adversity.
Great lessons.
And
great.
That's a gift I can give to people.
Yeah, no, I like that, and it's interesting what you said there. That when you're starting out and you have a new business and an idea, it's what you want to do, but you're not sure if everyone else is going to like it or approve of it, and for some reason it's easy to seek validation and want everyone else to root for it as well. And the reality is that some people aren't going to understand it. Some people don't care. Some people haven't got time to listen. So, but it's about, and that seems to me that's how you a big part of how you've grown your business is just talking to everyone, telling everyone the 2-yard rule. Anyone within 2 yards of you speak to. You have to get to know them, what they do, and tell them what you do.
Right. Faith, not fear. Just face it dead on, because our fears actually are false evidence appearing real. We make them up in our head, and they're just roadblocks. I'm taking a course with John Tallarico right now. called Thinking the Results. And I'm really learning about my old childhood paradigms. I'm learning about how I can retrain them in my subconscious mind and rewire my conscious mind. I could take a lot of those old ideas and thoughts and ways and actually change them and go back into what I went through, not make me a victim anymore, and make me a champion, and just change how I think. I learned through meditation, visualization, and deep breathing. And just there's a prayer called the acceptance prayer I learned in recovery. It says, don't worry about people, places, things, or situations, because we have no control over those. We just have control over us, ourself, our reactions, how we behave. A lot of people don't take responsibility for that.
No,
and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Don't know any better.
No, that's right. And yeah, it's unfortunate that some people don't, but it's just about you and being in control of you. And like you said there, something I've been learning recently is responding instead of reacting to situations. And when I first heard that, I thought, well, responding and reacting is the same thing, isn't it? And I had to really think about it. And someone gave me an example, and I was like, right, now I see what you're saying. And something else I think is interesting there is that you said you learn through deep breathing, meditation, and affirmations. Isn't it important to figure out how you learn each?
Oh, very much so.
And each subject can be different. If you're learning about yourself, you find that you like to learn through meditation, affirmations. But if you were learning about a reading or a writing subject or a math subject, it'd be a totally different process of learning. I don't know anyone that's meditated about math problems.
Well, we're not relaxed, and the tension actually will go to those different places depending on what kind of stress you're under. I follow Danette May. She's a fitness expert, health expert, and she wants to help with preventative care. She doesn't want to help people after they're, they have diabetes or whatever. She wants to help them preventative. And it's very important that we stop, breathe, and make sure we get oxygen to all parts of our body. When I'm not breathing deep enough, I could just feel it in my head. I feel like I'm going to lose it, so very important that we maintain our breathing.
It's funny you said that. Just as you said that, I just took a big deep breath and it felt great.
Yes, I know. It's hard. It's at first, at first it'll be hard, but then after a while it'll just be an automatic response once you start doing that. It'll come from here down into here.
I agree. Yeah. I remember. Not sure exactly how long I've been meditating for. I know I've been doing it at least the whole time I've lived in Australia, which is coming up to 5 years. Probably played around with it a bit before then. But when you're first doing it, it's very noisy, very busy place. And you actually, I find that the first thing you learn about meditation is, wow, my mind's actually really noisy. There's a lot of stuff going on up there that I perhaps wasn't even too aware of. It's just going... your subconscious mind is just playing things over from throughout the day, and if it's in the evening, and even if you're doing it in the morning, stuff's coming up, from the previous days or the last night. But it's something you have to just keep at and stick at, isn't it? There's no rules to it. There's no certain way you should do it, and it's something completely different to everyone else. It's got something that's completely different to each individual, what you get from it and how you do it. But it's something that took me many months to just be like, it's okay to just let the thoughts come and then let them just go. I always try and imagine them as a bunch of... my mom actually taught me this practice. Just think of your thoughts that you want to let go as just a bunch of balloons filled with helium, and just let them go. And in your mind, just watch them rise off and outwards and out of vision. And that's something that really, really works for me when I'm in the meditation and something keeps niggling at me and coming in, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, doing something for the first time is always very awkward, but I think that the more you do it, the more you'll realize, oh wow, this actually works pretty well. And you say things to yourself that you don't really believe. Research does say that 85% of most people's thoughts are negative, and they're actually the same thoughts over and over again. There's a lot of insanity in people's heads. And so that's why we have to make sure that we are waking up every morning. What we've started doing in our group for thinking of the results is a gratitude list every morning. And texting people we feel uncomfortable about our relationship with, and listening to positive things. I had a discussion with one of my family members today. It was about the court justice. She passed away. I can't remember her name, but a lot of people are concerned about all the policies that might change because of things we try to advance in equal rights for all sorts of people, color, sex, race. We want to make sure that we allow all people to have all the freedoms. That's what we're in America. I know we're struggling, with some of these conservative, liberal type ideas. And I really think we need to have love toward each other. We need to treat each other like we want to be treated. And no one is better than the next guy. And so I've been taught in my life through my parents that we need to love all people. It's very important. People have their own agendas on what they want to accomplish, and it's usually only what they want, not thinking about the whole picture. And so I want to make sure that the message is sent out there that you might think you think right about something, but you might want to rethink it. You might want to rethink how you're thinking. Lisa Nichols says, energy goes where energy flows. And I see negativity all the time working in customer service. I've had customers bully me over the years. And actually I'll share a quick story with you. The recent one was a veteran. He didn't want to wear a mask. And I had this feeling he was a veteran because he was like in his early 80s. So I went to my car. I got out of my cash register and I went to the car to get him a mask. I brought him the mask and gave it to him. And then he said something about the mask is kind of like Nazism and Soviet Union. And it's like a mind thing and everybody's having to do it. And I literally looked at him and I said, "Sir, I'm going to walk away from you now." So I turned and I walked away, put the box of masks in my back car, went back in the store. He went into the store to shop with his mask on. And he literally came through my line. I called him up. I'm like, "Okay, let's do this," right? So I'm like, just because someone treats you bad doesn't mean you have to treat them bad back. So what I do, "Hey, sir, how are you doing today? How are you? Did you find everything okay?" And then I just got in a quick little conversation. My dad was in the military. My dad had PTSD as well. He was a hurting person, post World War II, depression, and the story I heard a veteran speak about World War II. He was in a unit, the veteran was in a unit of 200 people, 200 men, and only 26 came back. So there was a lot of men that did not come back, young men, fathers and brothers and sons, so they were lacking in good leadership, in male leadership, right? Because of all, and all that. So my dad was a child of that. There was a lot of, homeless people. My dad lived in a tent for 5 years before he went into the service. At 16, he had nowhere to sleep except for a tent, with not so good, parents that were hurting themselves. So, military saved his life, and then later God took him out and God saved his life. And then in 1966, he got out of the military after like 13 years of service, got out on an honorable discharge. And then if he didn't get out of Vietnam, he may not have lived, and then I came 4 years later, so I may not have been born. So everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Yes. And everything
I learned
for you, not to you.
Right. I learned from this customer that he did serve in the military, that he was traumatized because of his age. Yeah. I know, because I was caregiver 2 years ago as well. My mom died, and then I was a caregiver. He died, and he was a veteran, and he told me what he went through over there. My dad died 21 years ago, so I wasn't able to go there with it. But I understood my dad a little bit more while being a caregiver, a veteran. So my heart is soft for them because they've gone through so much turmoil and trauma, and it does manifest in hurting people with it. Because that's they're hurting. So my mom said, "Hurting people hurt people," and
Yeah,
and so I was just kind and courteous with this customer. And I said, "Have a great day." He goes, "Do you take cash?" Because he's proud that he can pay cash, right? No card.
Yeah.
And I said, "We take cash." And then he ended up dropping money actually, and I picked it up. I saw it, and I chased him out the door, and I gave him his money. And I actually got a survey a few days later from a customer. I think it was him. He said,
really?
"Thank you for being patient." Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
So how we
people
respond, how we respond is key.
Yeah, yeah. How we respond, not react. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. And it's, you don't always know when someone is a little bit angry or frustrated towards you, or just a little bit off key. You have no idea what they're going through. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what's happened to them the second before you spoke to them. You have no idea. So having a little bit of patience and responding instead of reacting to people in times like that is often,
It's
I
tough.
think,
I have to breathe.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Sometimes it's people that you used an example there of someone that you didn't know, you'd never met before. Sometimes it's people that you know, and even people that you love that can be that way, angry, frustrated towards you. Even more than that, violent sometimes. But there's no excuse for that at all.
No, and usually you're the first person they come in contact with, so they usually will take it out on you. And actually, it's very, because I've been in the business for 31 years, I have learned over time how to respond through experience, because I didn't always respond in the proper way, because they would leash out at me, and then I would freak out, and then I would leash out at them. And so, a lot of the stuff is just, education and training. And a lot of people don't talk about how to deal with bullies. They don't. If everybody freaks out, or they clam up, or they act the same way that the person acted towards them. And I'm on the front line, so I want to make sure that I stay calm for the other people.
Yeah.
It's not just me and that one customer. There's a lot of people around suffering, and it upsets everybody.
Yeah. When you're dealing with people en masse like you are in a grocery store every day, it does grow your people skills. It grows your people skills, because you're just dealing with such a volume of people and such issues that come up, and you have to deal with them in the best way that you can on your feet. I can relate to that because I've worked as a plumber for many years, and one job I had before I moved to Australia, which was nearly 5 years ago, I was changing water meters in people's houses. Now every house has one, and I was knocking between 15 and 25 doors a day to do these jobs. Some people were expecting me, some people weren't. And let me tell you, some people just didn't want you in their house for whatever reason. And you came up against all sorts of problems. I did that for 2 or 3 years, 10 to 15 jobs a day. Whew, it grew my people skills. You get used to dealing with people, seeing problems come up before they actually do come up. And yeah, just improving your people skills and your problem solving skills as well, actually, in a customer, a one-to-one customer environment.
Yeah. And it's not always easy, but everybody's got the same time, the same days, the same problems. Actually, when COVID first happened, it was very stressful. But the thing is that it was very important for me as a first responder to stay calm.
Yeah.
I had 2 customers who literally broke out in rashes on their face from the stress. And I was very sad for them. And everybody goes into fear mode. And that's what's running rampant here. It's fear, not faith. It's scarcity, not love. It's where we go as human beings. I mean, it's easy to get pulled into the drama in every situation we're in. But in my new, location, I have to stay out of the drama. I have to stay out of the talking about people. And, we have to set an example as an older generation, to make sure we teach the younger generation how to deal with situations. So when I get a new employee that's younger, that they're bagging the groceries for me, if they have a customer that comes up to them and they're really mean to them, when the customer leaves, I'll tell the employee, they're only doing it. It's not because of you. They're doing it because of them. They're doing it because they're hurting. It has nothing to do with you. And I reassure them. I say, shake it off. Actually, I told my first client, spray your a-hole repellent on. Let it bounce right off. And she actually did it when she was in a different situation. When we were done with our session, a couple of days later, she sprayed on her repellent, and she goes, Joanna, that worked really well.
Yeah.
And so I have all sorts of sayings,
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that essence, and I like that too. Like, where I work, there's always young apprentices, younger guys, and it's always, of course, you're teaching them the technical side of what you're doing as a plumber, as an engineer, but you're teaching them, sometimes you get difficult customers, and I'm like, hey, look, what I just did there, that's probably the best way I would think to deal with that. You're going to come up against it tens, if not hundreds of times. So yeah, passing the skills on that you've learned, that no doubt were passed on to you by someone of an older generation, and passing those on yourself to the younger generation is something that's just gives you that feel good factor, doesn't it? And I think when you're in that place of helping others, it refreshes your energy, it revitalizes your energy. If your energy
it does. I can go all day.
Oh yeah, when your energy is feeling a little bit low, and you're a little bit slumped, which is, it just happens to us all the time, that's life. Then when you use a little bit of energy to help someone else, it then replenishes and refreshes your energy, I find.
It does. When I leave a client, I'm on cloud 9. I feel so good. And you can't rehearse these sessions. You just have to let them go the way they're supposed to. And just listen.
Yeah, which leads very well to my next question. Hey, I was wondering, Joanna, do you have your screen's a little bit fuzzy. I was just wondering if there's anything else using the internet where you are that you can turn off to get you a little bit clearer.
Yeah, it's a little bit, the internet's a little bit shady, going in and out.
That's okay. All right. So, well, you may have just answered this question, but what has been your biggest moment that really stuck out to you so far as the proud moment, the real big win for you in being a coach so far?
Well, just seeing the women change when I'm interacting with them and giving them suggestions, listening to their story, and helping them with their cause and effect, with how they respond to stimuli and situations. And I want to do more. One of the reasons why I went on the Power Voice system was because I want to go bigger with I love my clients and all, but I want to go bigger. I actually had talked to my councilman of the 7th district in Duarte, Tony Cohen. I think that's what his name is, but I might get it wrong. But I talked to Tony about going into my local community and in education and teaching young children how to have a voice, how to respond when people are mean to them. And of course, I'm going to bring Mickey Mouse with me because Mickey Mouse is a nice little, cute little animal. Les Brown loves Mickey Mouse. So I think I'm going to, go into the schools. He said he'd give me a letter from the city of Duarte, get me on a committee, and I'm just going to ride the train. I'm just going to see how far I can take this and see how many people I can help.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's actually miraculously interesting. I was working at a job yesterday, and the guy who was there was a teacher, and he told me that now it's actually, I was talking to him about the journey I've been on, how I've been doing some public speaking about hustle and entrepreneurship, and he let me know that the state I live in, Victoria in Australia, which is about the size of the UK for anyone who didn't even know there were states in Australia, they've brought entrepreneurship now actually into the curriculum for year 10 and 11. For the last two years, so the last 2 years of school, maybe three, might be three, but they've brought entrepreneurship now into the curriculum, and they bring people in from outside to display how they've created their businesses and how they got started, and to talk about entrepreneurship. So I'm going to get a program together and speak with him, and he said he'd be more than happy to help to get me into the school and teach the kids some stuff. So it's when you just get
I think you'll be great at it. You'll be great at it. It's going to work out. Yeah, because you're very, very youthful in your attitude and your movement, and you're very, very easy to be around and to talk to.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I hope I look a bit youthful as well. I'm trying to keep it going. Not easy when you go to the barbers for 3 months at a time, but yeah, I'd love to work with kids. Definitely, yeah. I think if
there's a saying.
If there's anyone that you can help and inspire, it should be the future generations, because they are the future of everything, the planet essentially.
Right. Yeah, it's very rewarding to help people, and when you help people, it actually helps you work through things within yourself as well. You attract what you are, and when my mom died 2 years ago, emergency death on me, the one thing she taught me is that you learn till you die. She and I had some wonderful conversations in the hospital for 3 weeks. We would talk, and she would tell me, I wish I would have, done this or not done this. And I learned from her. You don't stop learning. Yeah, that's what life's all about.
Never stop learning. What's the saying? You never too old to learn, never too young to teach. There it is.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I also want to say what my dad left me. He said, if I can make it better for my children than I've had it, I'm doing all right.
That's a good line.
He told me that at the end of his life as well. Wow. So my parents were amazing people. They're both gone, but they were just so amazing. The good parts of them were just so amazing.
Yeah, sounds good. I can see we've got quite a few people watching actually today, more than usual. Maybe it's because it's the weekend. Maybe it's just because they're hearing a bit more about the podcast. But we've got Eric here. Eric, our friend we have a group that we catch up each Sunday on a big Zoom call and just practice our speaking with each other and share our material and actually just have some fun, don't we? Yeah, a little
definitely. It's wonderful. I mean, it's been great, because I think having the support system has really helped me come out of my with that uncomfortable nervousness. Oh my God, it's scary. It's scary because you're exposing who you are to a bunch of people you don't know with your story, but it's so elating. And Les Brown said to us in our classes, you take the nervous energy, you take that and you use it to give a powerful message.
Yes. Yeah. And it's you guys are great. Eric said, Eric, not as great as you, brother. You're a great man. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to catching you. Can you see the comments you're in?
Yeah. Actually, no.
No.
But it's okay.
It's
I'm really trying to focus on our connection here. I really appreciate it.
Now it's the same side of of the other side of, let me get this right, challenges and failures, wins and failures. You know, it's one coin, and just either side of the same coin. So what's been, you know, has there been any moments, and there may have not been any, and that's wonderful if there haven't, but I tend to find that you learn more in the moments when things aren't going right and things are failing, and you have to struggle to rise to the challenges and overcome them. Could you pinpoint a challenge or a failure that you've had since you started your business that really made you have to rise above it?
Yeah, I had received two clients, you know, right off the bat, pretty much, and the client stopped coming. I went through the loss of my father-in-law this year, and we were in the hospital all of February. We came home March 1st when COVID started, and we did hospice for all the way through April 17th. He passed away. And so I was distracted by the loss of another loved one. I've lost about 8 people in 2 years. And so I after my mom died, life changed for me. It became different. I decided that she did not want me to be sad for very long. And I decided just to hop back. I went right back to work. And I had already had the breakdown of a lifetime in 2014. You could scrape me off the floor, literally. And I'm not going to ever do that ever again. And I realized that even when times are tough, when you fall, you get back up, right? You get back up. And then when you go to fall again, you know that you got back up already, right?
Right.
So that's what I told myself. I already went to the lowest of low, right? So there's only one way up when you're at the bottom. There's nowhere to go but up. That's and right. Of course, Les Brown, we know what he says, you know, if you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Yeah. And I could relate to him so much. And that's one of the reasons why I was so drawn to him. All the adversity, all that, and the courage that he had in the end. He got that from his mother, Mrs. Mamie Brown.
Yeah.
And I was close to my mother too.
Yeah.
Right. So I see. Though no wonder why he says we have greatness in us. He knows it. He's already been this road. He's 75 years old. He knows what life's all about. And he wants to help others. And he's helped us. So I embrace that. And that's how I get through the hard times. Because I know I've done it before. It's like riding a bike. You get off, you ride a bike, fall off the bike, get back on the bike, and keep going. Yeah. Because your eyes on the goal, your eyes on the prize. So you always, we were learning in John Tallarico's group, keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on the goal. Because the brain will automatically get into action. And they're right because they've done it. So we really need to pay attention to that. And we also have to pay attention to our instincts and listen to our bodies. You know, if something doesn't feel right, listen to it. There's a reason for it. We have instincts for a reason. It's a pretty complicated body we got, you know. It's very complicated, but it's pretty simple. I mean, once you start learning more about it. But everybody's at different levels of learning. You know, some people have little bit of information that's been given to them. They don't know that there's more information out there for them. I didn't until I got a little older. So it's a journey, it's an experience, good, bad, and different. It's all for learning. It's learning how to deal with life on life's terms.
I agree. I agree. And thank you for being so honest and open there. I'm so sorry for your loss. You lost a lot of people in a short time there. But it's great to see that you've got through it and you've stayed strong and you're now here to help others.
I am so grateful.
Yeah.
I want it bad. I wanted it really bad. And that's where the hunger for the hustle is a great slogan. Mine is actually, mine is actually your voice. I wanted to pay homage to Les Brown in his program. your voice, your story, which he wants to bring out of people so that they can express it and get it out there so they feel better. And then our legacy is what we want to leave for our children, our children's children. And I have two beautiful children and an awesome husband of 25 years almost. And I want to teach my children they can do anything they want. If they set the goal for it, they can get it if they want it bad enough. And I'm here to encourage that. I want to do it for them and for me, but I also want them to know that they can do it for themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's like they're saying, give a man a fish and he can eat for a day. Give a man a fishing rod and he can eat forever. You know, give people the tools so they can then build on them. Like Eric said here in the comments, construction for life, right? You are your life, your body, your mind. It's a constantly evolving construction site that can get busy and filled up with other people and problems and circumstances at times, but it's a building that's never quite finished. I truly believe that it's a constant, it's a lifelong journey once you embark on working on yourself and personal development that just, for better or worse, never ends.
Well, we don't know when our last day is here, and so we have to make the best of it. We have to live it to the fullest. And young people are dying around the world because of all the stress that they're under, and the children need to be protected from all the adversity and the pain if they can. And so I just start with one child, and I'm going to go to my community, and I'm looking so forward to it. I'm scared, but it's like, you know what, there's a need for this. And if we can teach the bullies that are kids that are learning this from their parents or the adults that are caring for them, I need to walk up to them and say, that wasn't very nice for you to say that to your friend. And I can teach the bullies how not to talk to other people. So it comes from both sides. It takes two to tango, right? So you have to talk to the victim, and then you have to talk to the perpetrator. And if they're young kids, they're more moldable, and we're able to start changing the way they react sooner than later. So that's what I've been thinking recently.
I think it certainly works, and I can't wait to see you apply it, because I know you're going to. If you had to start your coaching business, and I know you've not been doing it long, but as I say, no, you're almost a year in, I guess, right? If you started at the end of last year, heading towards a year in, would you do anything differently if you had to start again? Would there be something that you change?
I would not, because I've learned that things happen the way they're supposed to at that time, at that moment. We can't control anything but ourselves. And so things happen. We might want them to happen differently, but that's not the way they're supposed to happen. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And the older people get, the more they'll realize this. And I did 20 years ago, I was a totally different person than I am today, because I've raised children, I raised a family, and my kids are kids are like cups. You fill them up. That's what I tell my customers that are having babies. Fill those cups up, because if you fill the cup up, then their cup is full, and they could have a better life sooner. They don't have to go through all this pain unnecessary. And that's where my excitement comes from. It's like, that's why I want to go in there and get, take care of business. That's where the hustle comes.
Love it. Love the way you've paired the two things. Now, you've touched on it many times, really, and you could say you've already kind of answered this question, but I'll still ask it because I think you've got a lot more to say, I'm sure. What are your goals and aspirations for your business going forward?
Well, I mean, I've decided that I was going to only do referral only, friends of friends of family of friends, and I was going to be very selective on my clients, because I can't fix everybody, right? Not everybody wants help, and I want I want to maintain integrity. I want my clients to receive value from me. I want my clients to want to be with me. And so it's like a fan out, right? I help the first client. She goes, I have a sister that needs your help. Well, maybe you can help her. Or, it just kind of fans out. And through talking about it and getting it out there, it's just amazing how it just works out. So I wouldn't do anything differently. I'm really happy with the way things are going. And if I get frustrated, I just have to let it roll off and just keep going. How there's an equation. You have an event, right? And you have a response, ER, and then you have an outcome. If you have an event and you respond the same way, it's going to have the same outcome if it's bad. So what I learned from the Success Principles, it's a great book. I suggest it. It does teach you that very thing. It just teaches you, you have an event. I change my response for the more positive response, which has a different outcome. So a lot of people are actually going through life with a lot of insanity. And I've experienced a lot of insanity in my life. And, so in order to help people, you actually have to go through those things and you have to perfect those things in order and learn them in order to teach them. So that you can't skip a step. It's like algebra. You can't go from pre-algebra to algebra to advanced algebra without getting each step first. So everything happens the way it's supposed to. So I would not change a thing. Looking back, whatever stresses or abuse that I witnessed or traumatizations or good things, lots of good things, we like to go to the negative. So it's not all bad. My life was not all bad. Great parents, stayed married 41 years, they work through their stuff. And not everybody has that opportunity to watch their parents do that. So that was a gift to me. There was hard times, but you know what? We're all human. We gotta give ourselves a break sometimes. Ourselves more. Because I'll give the other person more of a break than I'll give myself. So I'm trying to treat people as I want to be treated. So if I treat them better than I treat myself, there's something wrong with that. So I'm going to do a different response. I'm going to treat myself fill my cup, let it flow over to the saucer, right? Like Lisa Nichols says, and then give from the saucer. So, and I notice when I don't take care of myself, I do.
Oh yeah.
It's heavy, so I want to encourage everybody to take care of themselves. That's why I encourage meditation and all that kind of stuff. Relaxation, visualizations. When you're stressed out, go lie down and do some deep breathing and put on some nice music. So I mean, I've done those things and they work for me, so they have to work for other people too.
Yeah, well, you've encouraged and inspired me. I'm going to definitely do some meditating this afternoon, I think.
Good.
When you're meditating, do you have a specific set of music you go to, maybe a channel on YouTube, anything you'd recommend?
Actually, I did mention Danette May previously. She has a Fit Rise 365 group. It's a group for women. Her husband actually has one for men as well. They're trying to get that launched because a lot of men need a lot of support in their manhood. And but she actually makes her own meditations. She puts them on her site. It's a subscription every year. She starts off with a 30-day challenge. And so all of her exercises are included with her meditations and her workouts all on one site. So she's an example of living her why and her purpose and helping women have self-love. Her book's called The Rise, the Story of Self-Love. And
I just want to drop it in the comments so people can find her.
Oh, sorry, what was that? I lost you.
What was her name, that lady? I just want to drop it in the comments so people can find her. Sounds like it has.
Oh, it was it's Fit Rise 365. Danette May. It's her book is called The Rise, an Unforgettable Story of Self-Love. It's her memoir, and I suggest it for all women. It tells about her story. It tells about her lows. her lowest of lows. It tells about how, you know, her trials, her tribulations have brought her to who she was today. So she was one of my mentors. Lisa Nichols with the next one, and then Les Brown, and now John Tallarico.
Yeah.
And I am amongst greatness.
I couldn't agree more, and so am I, and I'm blessed to. Danette May, I've just dropped her link to her website in the comments there, so I'm sure people, if they want to look her up, they can look her up. And I've dropped your website in there as well, so.
All right, thank you.
Of course, look you up.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm here for everybody. I don't care whether you're homeless, motherless, fatherless, elderly. I'll talk to you because I've done it for a long time. At church, you know, at work for 31 years, at church my whole life till I was 30 years old. I went to church. You know, it's just, people are wonderful. They just don't know it. I know it because I know it for myself. They can have what they want. They just don't know it yet. So that's what I'm here to tell them they can.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. Definitely, absolutely. There's powers and possibilities within everyone that they haven't even discovered or uncovered yet. Just lying dormant and waiting to be discovered. Sometimes life gets in the way, but you'll find them. If you commit to finding them and doing some work on yourself, you will uncover things and powers and possibilities within you that you just didn't even know were ever there. And that's a journey we've both been on together, and a lot of the people watching have in the past few weeks.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. And I'm excited for anybody else that joins the Power Voice system. It's going to change their life. And what Les Brown wants to accomplish is manifesting. It's manifesting.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay it forward in the next generation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely believe that. Wholly and truly. Joanna, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. We've nearly run the full hour.
Thank you so much, Jake.
I could go easily for another hour. You're welcome. It's been as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure. And everyone,
thank you, Jake.
If you want to find out more about Joanna, her website is there in the comments, and so are all her social media handles. So, Joanna, I'll leave you there. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's evening there, yep. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'm going to actually go jump right into some meditation. I'm going to enjoy it.
Go get yourself a meditation, man.
Take care. I'll speak to you soon. It's been lovely to talk to you.
Have a great night. Thank you. You guys all have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. See you next time, everyone.